Greetings, folks, and welcome to My Mind's Madness. I was recently asked to help someone understand IP addressing and subnetting, and I thought it'd be a good opportunity to create a couple videos which go over concepts that will cover all of these topics. So let's make a start with what is IP addressing. When it comes to IP addresses in the classic IPv4 sense, we need to know a couple things about them. The first is that it's written in a format called dotted decimal. And dotted decimal is where we have four numbers separated by periods. So that could be something like 1.2.3.4. This is our dotted decimal format. What we can also see from this is that each of these little points between, they are classed or called octets. As an octet, they are actually made up of 8 binary bits. So if we have 4 octets and each octet is made of 8 binary bits, there is a grand total of 32 binary bits that are used to make this address. I also want to specify that in an IP address, the numbers between these can only ever be between the value of 0 and 255. So if you ever see a number which is, say, 301, you know that that's invalid altogether. When looking at an IP address like 192.168.0.1, how can we convert this into binary? One of the easiest ways is using a 128 table. To write that, start with 128, and then divide by 2 to get 64, divide by 2 again, 32, and keep dividing by 2 until you get all the way down to the number 1. Next, what we're going to do is some simple maths where we're going to take the value that we're trying to calculate, say 192, which is here, and we're going to ask the question, can we subtract 128 from 192? If the answer is yes, we're going to put a 1 in that field underneath that. So 192 minus 128 equals, borrow my 1, 12 minutes, 4, 6, and 0. Okay, so now we know that we've got 64. So the next question, can I subtract 64 from 64 without going into negatives? If I can get 0, that's absolutely fine. So again, my answer here is yes. And subtract the 64 from this gives me 0. So, can I subtract 32 from 0 without going into negatives? No, I can't. Can I subtract it from 16? No, 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 no. There is our binary value for 192. Nice and easy. Now let's try the same thing again for 168. So we'll put 168 over here, where we can see it, 168. And this is what we're trying to get to. Can I subtract 128 from 168? Yes, I can. So let's do that math. 128. It's going to leave me with 0, 4, 0. So 40. Can I subtract 64 from 40 without going into negatives? No, I can't. Can I subtract 32 from 40? Yes, I can. So let's subtract our 32. That's going to leave me with 8. Can I subtract 16 from 8? No. Can I subtract 8 from 8? Yes. And no for the rest because we're now at 0. Because 8 subtract 8 equals 0. 0 is a really easy one to get because obviously that's just going to be zeros across the board. And so is 125, surprisingly. Sorry, 225. Because that is just going to be ones across the board as well. We can make any value from 0 all the way up to 255 using all of these numbers. And a really cool trick to help you get speedy at these is whatever this number is here, let's say, if you know that you've got all ones underneath it, so let's use the example of 128. So here's 128, okay, 64, 32, 16, 8, 4, 2, 1. So let's say I get given a binary and it asks me to calculate what it is. If you have this division line where you have a 0 and then a whole bunch of ones after, I can guarantee you the number that this will equal will be 127, one less than that line there. So that's going to be 127. Let's confirm that. 64 plus 32 plus 16 plus 8 plus 4 plus 2 plus 1. I'm going to do it my old school way. So this is 10 here. That's going to be 20 on top of that. So that's going to be 30, 62 plus 64, 126 plus 1, 127. Yeah, I'm terrible at maths if you haven't figured that out already. So 127, that's how we get it. So you can always guarantee it. Same with this. If this is 64 here and our binary was 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, we would know that's our division line. So this is going to equal 63, one less than that. Another easy one to remember, if this line is on, that'll be the difference between an odd and an even number. Obviously, if we have 1, 1, 1, 1, 0, that's going to be an even number. But that in general is an IP address. It is just a number made from binary that the computer can understand and presented in decimal so that we can understand. I really hope you enjoyed this short video on IP addressing. Stay tuned for more.